Love beyond death. Some love stories do not end with goodbye. They simply change the way they are told. For nearly 60 years, the people of Willow Creek believed there was something extraordinary about the little blue house at the end of Maple Lane. Every evening, just as the sun disappeared behind the hills, a single candle would appear in the front window. It never failed. Not during thunderstorms, not during blizzards, not even after the old man who lived there became too weak to walk without a cane. His name was Samuel Whitaker. He was 91 years old. Children called him Grandpa Sam. Neighbors admired his kindness, but everyone wondered the same thing. Why did he light that candle every single night? Whenever anyone asked, he simply smiled. It's a promise. No one understood, until the day he died. A love that began with rain. Samuel first met Clara Bennett on a rainy autumn afternoon in 1953. He had taken shelter beneath the awning of a small bookstore when a gust of wind blew a young woman's umbrella inside out. Without hesitation, Samuel stepped into the rain, wrestled the umbrella back into shape, and handed it to her with an awkward grin. "You've just saved my dignity," Clara laughed. "I was aiming for the umbrella," Samuel replied. She laughed even harder. That laugh became the soundtrack of his life. Within a year, they were married. They never became wealthy. Samuel worked as a carpenter. Clara taught music at the local school. Their home was filled with old furniture Samuel restored by hand, books Clara collected from secondhand shops, and music drifting from an aging piano every evening. To outsiders, it looked like an ordinary life. To them, it was everything. The promise one winter night, during a power outage, they sat together beside the fireplace. The house was dark except for a single candle burning on the windowsill. Clara stared at its warm glow. "If one of us leaves first," she whispered, "how will the other know we're still loved?" Samuel smiled. "I'll light a candle every evening. And what if I'm the one who goes first? I'll still light it." "For how long?" Samuel looked into her eyes. "For as long as I breathe." She reached for his hand. "Then whenever I see that light, you'll know I'm thinking of you." Goodbye years passed. Their hair turned silver. Their steps slowed. But every evening they still watched the sunset together from the front porch. Then came the diagnosis. Clara had an aggressive illness. The doctors did everything they could, but one quiet spring morning, surrounded by birdsong and blooming flowers, she slipped away peacefully. Before taking her final breath, she smiled weakly. "Don't forget." Samuel kissed her forehead. "I made you a promise." In the candle. The first evening without Clara was unbearable. The silence inside the house seemed louder than any storm. Samuel carried the candle to the window with shaking hands. He lit it. The tiny flame flickered in the gathering darkness. He whispered into the empty room, "Good night, my love." The next evening, he did it again. Then the next. Weeks became months. Months became years. Years became decades. Neighbors began setting their watches by the appearance of the light. Children walking home would wave toward the glowing window. Newly married couples often strolled past the little blue house. Someone eventually told them the story of the candle. Many returned every anniversary to see it still burning. It reminded them that love was something to be practiced, not merely spoken. The final evening one autumn afternoon, Samuel's granddaughter Emma came to visit. She found him sitting quietly in his favorite chair. His breathing was slower than usual. He smiled gently. "Will you help me tonight?" She nodded. Together they walked to the window. Samuel struck the match one last time. The candle came alive. Golden light danced across the room. He looked at Emma. Love isn't measured by how long someone lives. She squeezed his hand. It's measured by how faithfully you remember them. Samuel nodded. And promises should outlive the people who make them. Emma kissed his forehead. I'll remember. That night, with the candle still glowing softly in the window, Samuel closed his eyes and peacefully took his final breath. One last surprise. After the funeral, Emma began sorting through her grandparents' belongings. Inside an old cedar chest, she discovered a small wooden box. On top was a note. "Open only after I've gone." Inside were hundreds of handwritten letters, one for every year since Clara's passing. Each began the same way. "My dearest Clara." Samuel had written to her every week for 32 years. He told her about changing seasons, about birthdays, about grandchildren, about the flowers she would have loved, about how much he still missed hearing her laugh. The final letter simply read, "My love, tonight I lit our candle for the last time. If heaven has windows, look toward the evening sky. I'll be following the light home. Forever yours, Samuel." Emma could no longer hold back her tears. She understood why the candle had never failed. It wasn't just a ritual. It was love refusing to surrender to death. An end that was really a beginning. Months later, the little blue house became a community library and music room in honor of Samuel and Clara. Every evening, just before sunset, volunteers lit a single candle in the front window. Not because they believed it reached heaven, but because it reminded everyone still on earth that true love does not disappear when a heartbeat ends. It lives in promises kept. It lives in memories cherished. It lives in acts of quiet devotion. And sometimes, it lives in the gentle glow of a single candle shining faithfully through the darkness, waiting to guide another heart home.